Today we're talking about why INFJs are rejecting love without even knowing it. As INFJs, we feel like we understand others really well. We can give them what they need. We can make them feel understood and loved. But it's a completely different thing when it is all about us, when it's about us being understood, us being loved. And so we always try to explain ourselves. We think that if we just are the way we are, nobody's going to get us, nobody's going to appreciate us. But we have to understand that it all starts with us. If we ourselves believe that we are not worthy of love the way that we are without doing anything for anybody else or, creating things for others, but just being, until we honestly know that and feel that and concentrate on that, then we cannot accept love for who we truly are. We might get love for the facade we're putting up, for the image we're creating. We might get love for what we're doing for other people, but we can't accept love for who we are. So today we're going to answer the question why INFJs are rejecting love so often and how to change that process. Before we get started, I want to remind you, if you want to take one more step in loving yourself and being able to accept love from the outside, then join our amazing INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp community. The next life round launches May 4th, and one of the things we really hone into is making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, that we're loving ourselves and are allowing other people to come into our life who are feeding our soul. I hope many of you join us on this amazing journey. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. You can join the waiting list to get access to the early bird price. And we're also going to have a free masterclass here on YouTube May 4th. All the links, as I mentioned, are in the description. I see you there. Reason number one why INFJs reject love without knowing it is because we have a really hard time setting boundaries. Boundary setting is the first and most crucial step here, because the thing we do is we merge with other people because we want to take in their energy. But what we don't understand in this moment is that we are giving up on ourselves. It's great to do that in order to make another person feel seen. It's great in order for us to absorb new information and new energy and new emotions. But we always have to make sure that we figure out what it is that makes us feel good, independent of who's around us. We have to create that level of self-love in a vacuum, because only then we can really make choices that are based on, is this energy that I'm allowing in going to help me be more of who I want to be? Or is it taking me away from that version of myself that I like? The entire reason why we're doing this, besides the fact that there's so much information we're getting, is that we believe that the only way we are lovable and we deserve love is if we are something for other people, if we do something for other people. And we do this even at the expense of our own sense of self. And this is the most crucial point. We have to define for ourselves who we want to be, independent of anybody else, and to really stick to that no matter what. There has to be a part of us that is never up for debate. And very often as INFJs, we figure this out through trial and error, through pain, that we recognize I cannot allow that much energy into my space. But of course, it has a lot to do with the fact that I don't believe I deserve love just by me being me. And that's something we have to change. And once we start that process, once we allow ourselves to choose ourselves and to say, I'm going to water my own grass, I'm going to make sure that I flourish, and I'm going to show myself love. I have to, even if I don't believe it at this moment, start creating energy for me that feeds me, that says you are good and worthy and great the way you are already, just by you being you. And therefore, I'm going to make sure that you feel your best. Because every single time we merge with other people, specifically in friendships and romantic relationship with parents and so on, like relationships that can be very intimate where there's a lot of energetic exchange, if we don't make sure to protect ourselves and really define who we are, there's nobody who can give us love. It's just not possible, because nobody will ever get who you are. It's not on them, because it's not about others understanding you and you're being this mystery and then they themselves go on this journey of figuring ourselves out and will protect our boundaries. It's not possible, because the only way a person can protect our boundaries is if we define where our boundaries are at. We have to be, before anything else, separate individuals. Reason number 2 why INFJs reject love without even knowing it is because we're not expressing ourselves. It's as simple as that. If you are not expressing who you truly are, nobody can like you. Nobody can love you because nobody has any chance of seeing what you want, what you're about, and how to treat you. And we as INFJs have an extremely hard time with this because expressing ourselves means being vulnerable for the world to see that we're different. Yes, we can express ourselves in some social situations, but if we would really express all that we are as much as we are capable at from this point of view, then of course people will recognize that we're just different. There's something off. That person is maybe a threat. That person is completely independent and therefore not able to be manipulated. They're not in need of what most people are in need of, and therefore I don't know how to work around them. I don't know what to do with this INFJ. And this is something that is crucial for us INFJs to understand. This switch of expressing ourselves, and I mean our true self, this includes we can be cold. This means we can be detached. This means we have this foresight and we have thoughts that people are not going to get right away. This choice of leaning towards that version of ourselves is like an on-off switch. Once you decide to go there, there's pretty much no going back. Because once you start expressing yourself, it's like you've shown the world who you are. And the first thought most INFJs have is, now it's over. Nobody is ever going to love me. But it's still worth doing, and I'm going to tell you why. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to this question. Am I going to be rather liked for somebody that I'm not, for a facade I'm putting on? Or do I want to be disliked for who I truly am? And the answer is always the latter. Because once you say, I'm willing to take the risk, I'm going to choose me, I'm going to show up the way I am, you give yourself permission to be loved. There is no way for you to be loved if you're not expressing who you are. People cannot know who you are if they don't know what you're about, what you think, how you see the world. Even you as an INFJ who can read people so perfectly, the only way why you can do this is because they express themselves one way or another. It's not just body language, it's the way they speak, it's the choices they make, all of that, right? You see the uniqueness in that. You see the individual. You have the right to be seen as an individual as well. And I've gone through this process myself, and I know how hard it is because it really doesn't feel like, yeah, it's going to be okay, everybody's going to love me. In many cases, you really believe if I do this, nobody else is going to love me. But if you really are making this choice, you also understand that there is no other choice. Because if you're not being yourself, you're automatically never being loved. And you understand that sooner or later. You know that it's always conditional on what you're doing, and you will always feel disconnected because others are feeling understood. Others feel like the world is opening up to them. But you, what is there about you? You are not the things you do. That is the cherry on top. You, the way you are, without doing anything for others, just being, are already worth of being loved. So if you make that choice, you will automatically start feeling better. Not only because you start expressing yourself and you allow other people to see you, it's not only that, it's the fact that it relieves your soul. We are taking in so much energy. We have to let it out. There is no other way. You know, if you continuously take on energy, we get into the NITI loop, we get depressed, it gets really heavy, and there is no soul left of us. We absorb everything until the point there's nothing left of us. So the moment you start expressing yourself, it's like you've taken in this information, you've made your own conclusions about it, and now you express it back into the world. You give rapport. You allow the world to see how you interpreted all that information. And the best thing about it is that it frees your soul. It pushes away energy that doesn't belong there. It makes room for your own energy to emerge, and it will make you feel so much lighter. We don't even have to fill ourselves up so actively. Just release that stuff that you've taken in and allow new energy to emerge. Reason number 3 why INFJs are rejecting love without even knowing it is because we're choosing what we want now versus what we want most. As INFJs, we have to understand that it feels really good to connect with others. It feels good to merge with them. It feels good to pick up that energy, but it's not going to get us to where we want to be. So much of this is going on in our mind, but is it making us happy? Most of the time it's not. It's what we think is going to happen. But, we've lived a couple of years now. We know that this doesn't work. We have to make sure that we're choosing the things that make a difference in our life long term. That's what the INFJ mind is all about. We have the capacity to think long term. So let's make this happen. Look at the things that you're looking for right now. What are they? Maybe it's love. Maybe it's excitement. Maybe it's security. And we're choosing the easy way out so often because the bigger picture, the thing that's going to give us real peace, is a lot more work and it's going to take a lot more time. But this is exactly what we have to do. Because the moment we choose what we want most over what we want now, we're saying, I love myself because I deserve better. No matter what I'm getting here, I'm making the choice that I love myself, and therefore I'm creating a life that makes me love myself. It's not that we need to take action in order to be worthy of love. It's that we very often are not making choices that show ourselves, you deserve this. And every single time you do something that shows you that you deserve love, it becomes ingrained. It's like this feedback loop that tells you, yes, I deserve to be loved because I'm taking care of myself. And I believe that this is a good thing. I see how much better I feel about it. And therefore, the people around me can also do the same. I'm teaching myself how I deserve to be treated. We do this in bootcamp as well. We know that we have to first focus on our physical energy management in order to have as much energy as possible, because doing the things that are going to make the biggest impacts on our life are going to be hard work. They're not going to be easy for us. And I'm not even talking about like being a workaholic. It's the mental load that is required to make those shifts. It's new pathways that have to be created, or they have to be engaged even more. So we have to make sure that we always prioritize what we want most over what we want now. We might get this great hit by helping somebody when in the end we're just enabling them, or by staying in a toxic relationship and there's always this back and forth because there's a trauma bond happening. That feels great in the moment. It doesn't feel good long term. And we are INFJs. We can think long term. So let's use this to our advantage. Decide for yourself what you want. So one of the ways is to do this through bootcamp. So we really define things in physical energy management, in our relationships, in our prosperity, in our purpose, and then we use priority management to focus on the things we want most. And it's not just about defining them. It's really taking action. And that's when we get to reason number 4, why INFJs reject love without even knowing it. We're not taking action towards our INFJ epic life. We're just not. And there are a couple of reasons for that. Number 1, the moment you start creating your life, you're really showing your underbelly. You're saying to the world, this is who I am. Now it's undeniable. People see it. And we cannot wait for somebody to do this for us. Very often we project this because it's our last function. It's really hard for us to take action on who we are because there's, uncertainty in that. And once we take action towards creating our vision, there's no way back because now we've made ourselves visible. But there are 2 things that are happening here. On the one hand, the more you create who you are in the real world. So we're really talking about setting boundaries. We're talking about creating a life that creates more abundance and prosperity for you. We're talking about creating a life that is bringing purpose to your life. All of those things. When we start creating that life in concrete ways, people see who we are way more. We're not explaining ourselves. We're not merging with them. We're just saying, this is who I am. Now it's more visible for you. But that's not the main reason why we should do this. The main reason why we should do this is because we create a life that allows us to live our own energy. We create space for us. We take up space in the world. And the more space you take up in the world, you're giving yourself space to really flourish. And the more you flourish, the more you feel your self-love, the more excitement you experience through being yourself. And the more people would be able to give love to you. You'll be surprised how many people will see your worth and will appreciate you once you start appreciating yourself and saying, I'm going to water my own grass. Reason number 5 why we INFJs are rejecting love without even knowing it is because we're not setting goals outside of a singular person. So many of us want people in our surrounding to understand who we are. We have goals and we have ideas how we can change them. We have goals and ideas how we could help them, how we can make an impact on the world. But it's always based on that person listening to you, that person understanding you. And when you do this, you're not giving yourself the ability to really make an impact that is based on what you want. Because every single time there's another person involved and you're focusing your entire energy on them, then it's on them to make that choice. And if they are not ready, if they're not able, if they're not in need or want to change, we get stuck feeling like we've given our all and it was for nothing. We feel depleted. We have nothing left to give. And it just is heartbreaking. But if you understand that there's always this part of you that wants to give something to the world, that wants to help in one way or another make the world a better place, then find an outlet that is independent of a singular person. So you can say, I'm helping in this way. Who here wants to have that energy as well? If you want to be part of that energy, these are my boundaries. But I'm not changing who I am. I'm not changing my way of showing up. I'm not changing my archetype in order to fit your needs. I can make some switches here and there, but the core of who I want to be will stay the same. This is also one of the pillars we focus in on in bootcamp. Because if you want to create a healthy outlet for your gift, for who you are, you have to make sure that there's a part of you that is never up for debate. And if you are basing your help on a singular person, when you see them and there's some trauma bond happening and you feel like the only way I can reach them is if I deviate from who I am too much, you're never going to get in a position where you will allow true love. Because that love is based on you showing up in a way that is not healthy for you. You're saying to that person, you deserve love. You deserve to make sure that you're good. That's what you're saying to them. But what they're seeing is you don't think that about yourself. You think it's totally fine to give everything to somebody else and not make sure that you're fine. So people are not looking for what you're saying to them. They're looking at who you are. And if you yourself are not making sure that you're healthy, that you're happy, that you give yourself energy first. And I'm not talking about giving yourself enough energy to barely keep your head above water and saying, yeah, I can take it. I can take your pain. I can be a martyr. No, I'm talking the real thing. I'm talking happiness, abundance, creativity, all of that, like really shining through. And then helping somebody, then they can use you as an inspiration. They can see, that INFJ is choosing themselves. And they're doing it in a way that allows me to choose myself as well. As you see, in the end, it always comes down to us choosing us. We have to make sure that we love ourselves first, because only then we can give people the opportunity to love us as well. That's the only way we can allow true love into our lives. Remember, if you want to join our amazing community who's making those things happen and is encouraging each other, and it's a really safe space where you feel seen and protected and encouraged at the same time, then, join our amazing INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp community. We launch May 4th. So this Saturday, we're going to have a free masterclass here on YouTube. The link is in the description. And if you join the waiting list, you're going to get access to the early bird prize. Everything else you might want to know, you can find in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in line with today's topic, then watch the video you see on the screen right now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.